What's going on, guys? This is Empty Box, and this is iRacing V8 Supercars from Road Atlanta. We're going to be doing a 32 lap race. We're going to require a pit stop for fuel and some tires, and we're starting 15th because I didn't qualify. Hopefully, Randolph. Hopefully. Hopefully.
Green, green, green.
Really not sure what to expect because I haven't raced this car officially since, well, since it had the old tire model on it. Put it this way, I'm sporting the old motorsportsphotos.co.uk livery, and that website doesn't even exist anymore.
Still there. Keep to the right. Clear.
So shout out to my boys who are somehow hovering around still, wherever they may be. Alright, moved up a good bit, so we'll just kind of be a little bit patient here. Really easy to lose the car there. The differential in this car, or lack thereof, I can't remember what it technically has, but basically a little bit of throttle will make this car super oversteer oriented. So you have to use that to your advantage.
Right side. Still there. Clear on the right. Car right. Clear.
There we go. Probably won't be talking too much here in this video because, well, this car is a beast to drive. It's pretty much everything like the Cadillac, which I drove last season. You guys saw here on my channel here. If you were around back then. If not, the videos are still back there. Only everything about it is twice as bad. It understeers twice as bad. It oversteers twice as bad. As I said, just like the Cadillac, it's also very catchable when it does oversteer. This is a car that actually really does feel like you can drive it sideways with the setup that I have, which is a topic I'll save for a later moment in this race. Just in case.
You're in the top 10.
That's what I like to hear. Just gotta be really careful. Don't need to be crazy. Turn 3 in this car, right there. That turn we just went through, that right at the top of the hill. Not nearly as terrifying as in many other cars. I'll say that. Largely because in this car you actually kind of get a look down at the corner rather than in something like a Corvette or a HPD Ford GT. Cars I usually drive, you basically can't see it all, and unless you actually know where the corner is, you would be pretty much screwed. First off track of the race. Just doing some short shifting. It seems like this car is really beneficial to a short shift. Just clip the grass on braking. I did that in practice so many times, and I know I shouldn't be that close to the grass. This car's a lot wider than what I'm used to driving. Just a silly mistake. Need to cut that out. This car is definitely an acquired taste and an acquired skill for sure. This is not that's a car I'd say that you could expect to be really fast in pretty much anything else and just hop in this car and instantly be fast.
Left side. Clear on the left. Left side.
It's no good.
Clear on the left. Left side. Clear on the left.
There's another 1X. My question is, what did I let you guys get me into here? What did I let you guys get me into?
Car right. Still there. Clear.
I didn't trail any throttle there, and that's the difference between using a little bit of power just to loosen up the rear end of the car right there. You know, the sad thing is, in practice, I was getting down into the 23-second range, the 1 minute 23 seconds, fairly easily, fairly consistently with full fuel, but good news is we seem to really make up a lot of time in the downhill right there, the final corner. I gotta say though, initially when I first started practicing here at this track with this car, it's kind of like, not really a fan. But the more I drive here, the more I was practicing, the more I was like, this is a really nice track for this car. It really is, especially the S's. The S's are really fun in this car. Heck, this entire track's really fun with this car. Come on, Randy! Open up the door for me! You didn't open up the door for me. You're a crappy teammate. Although, then again, I'm not even running the team paint scheme. Sorry! But that's because you drive a Mustang. Sorry. It is. It's just true. Let's check our fuel situation. We got a 19-gallon tank in this car. Just a dab of Oppo. Versus the cars I'm running with, I seem to really be good in the high-speed sweepers. I seem to be losing it at the medium speed corners. But then again, yeah, I'm not sure how much tire wear and tire conservation is going to come into play here. It'd be really interesting to see that, given that I haven't driven this car in such a very long while. Because quite frankly, this car's been crap for a very long while, but I heard some indications that it's been improved.
Left side.
Still let him go on by, maybe.
Still there. Clear.
Except for this guy parking in the middle of the track.
Keep to the right. You're in the middle. 3 wide. You're on the left. 3 wide.
He basically pulled over and then he decided he didn't want to pull over. Son of a biscuit. I don't know what that guy was doing there. He's going 10 miles an hour off the pace down the straightaway, and then he ran way wide off into the grass, and then he just decided to cut right back in rather than just go ahead and keep off the track. I mean, you're already a lap down. It's still too early to make a pit stop, so. Just get away from that guy, be done with it. Didn't happen, block it out. Just have a very large hole to dig myself out of now. But we can do it. Let's stick with it. I gotta say, I don't have a problem with this car other than the fact it's a Ford. the Holden looks 10 times better, to be entirely honest. Plus, I'm not really a Ford guy at all. At all. Not a fan. Even though my parents are, but every Ford they've had has had issues. So, not sure why that is, but not a fan of Ford. Then again, Chevrolet isn't exactly all that much better. But, I mean, this car just drives so very goofy. If you want to be fast in this car, you're going to need to put the time in it, because this is basically kind of like driving a combination hybrid of the Sprint car and the Silver Crown car with a gearbox. That is, again, all because of the gearbox, or the differential. Or I guess the rear end in the car, whatever you want to call it. Just don't have the forward grip to get a good launch off of the corner. That many laps, huh? Oh, God. Easy. Okay, what am I doing here? Suddenly a switch has been flicked and all of a sudden just no grip at all. Which I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that I probably am experiencing the same thing that you usually experience in the Cadillac once you get to a certain point. Tires have been melted. I think about it, soften up that rear bar, stiffen up the front. It's going to cause more understeer, but hopefully should help. Gotta work those tools. Gotta work those tools. I mean, it just so backwards to what you're used to, or at least what I'm used to. It's not necessarily wrong, because that's kind of how the car is. I mean, if you're watching V8Supercar race, you can definitely see that they will launch sideways without all that much provocation. That said, the iRacing car does not, it's not really convinced me it's a V8 Supercar at all. There's just silly lacks of grip. And the setup is, well, like I mentioned earlier, there's a thread on the forum for this car, the subforum, about the setup on this car, and basically some guy has the data for this particular car, or one of the V8 Supercars, the Ford specifically, and of course the old generation, not the current car of the future that they're running now. How is this? How in the world did V8 Supercars and NASCAR do this whole car of the future thing where it's still car of the future? Like, even when NASCAR was racing the car of tomorrow, they were still calling it the car of tomorrow. But he's basically saying that in iRacing, we pretty much always run unrealistic setups that... Son of a biscuit! Okay, we're gonna go ahead and pit in. It's that time anyways. This car is just... This car is something else. But basically he said that we always run essentially unrealistic setups in the V8 Supercar because that's how you get the car to go fast. Not to mention that I guess on the previous build, I believe this has been fixed.
The lead is pitting now.
There was a setup hack basically that made the car like 2 seconds a lap faster, which I guess there was a setup posted by Shane Van Gisbergen, real life V8 Supercar driver. He's pretty well known. You probably have heard of him if you watch V8 Supercars, but he posted a setup that related to real world setup values, and supposedly the car drove a lot better in pretty much every regard. But it was dog slow. Which, stuff like that really annoys me because I like cars where the setup doesn't really matter. I mean, that's one of my knocks on the HPD is, it's not a huge difference in that car. Certainly not what people were saying the V8 Supercar was, but I like to be able to set the car up how I want to and have it suit me and not have, a car that's driving like poop because I'm using a, setup that's way outside the box, but it makes it ultra fast even though it drives like crap entirely, so. I don't know, that, and plus it's really just a shame that, that iRacing doesn't have a really good V8 Supercar considering, it's a pretty popular car, in terms of the sim racing crowd around the world, as well as the fact that there's still a pretty good chunk of Australians and New Zealanders, guys living upside down over at iRacing, so on top of the fact that there's a couple real life drivers. So it's one of those things where this car could and should be better, and I really wish it was, because this car is a car I definitely like to drive. I really like driving V8 Supercars, but this car just does not do it for me because it's just not that good right now. That said, if giant slides are your thing, this car's got you covered. For sure. I don't know, maybe I'm being a little bit too tough on this car in terms of its quality. It's not terrible, but It's also not amazing, as you can see with coming downhill like that. The car's just wanting to do nothing but get wheel spin for days. And I guess seeing how I've pretty much screwed my own race over at this point, might as well go ahead and talk on about a couple other things. Circuit of the Americas, woo! It's coming to iRacing. They started laser scanning earlier today, I guess, or recently. All that needs to be said, and all I gotta say is, whoop-de-frickin-do! The crappiest of the Americas comes to iRacing eventually. That circuit is a pile of garbage. Don't get me wrong, it's great to have a Formula One quality, world-class circuit here in United States and North America, entirely. I mean, yes, there's Montreal, but I mean it's different level from what I can gather. But at the same time, that does not make it great because it sucks. It's just another boring, freaking dull, freaking Tilcadrome that just sucks. There, I said it. So that's good news. I'm sure a lot of you guys will definitely enjoy that circuit and definitely be looking forward to it, but that place is a crap hole of a racetrack. Someone's got to say it. And I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty sure if Circuit of the Americas was not in the United States, nobody would care. I know someone's going to take that as a very nationalistic quote and get all upset over that, but by that I mean, here in the United States we have a ton of absolutely amazing circuits, but none of them that are world-class level. And finally having a facility at that level is a great thing for racing entirely. That said, why is WEC running there and not at Sebring or Road to Atlanta? The races that actually matter, the tracks that are actually fantastic. Instead, there. V8 Supercars. Honestly, I really would have liked to have gone to it this year, which I'll talk about that here in a moment, as I'm sure some of you guys already know. But I'm not gonna drive down to frickin' Austin, Texas to watch V8 Supercars at a boring track that doesn't really excite me at all, Now, if they put the puppies up here at Road America, which is, the closest, high-level road racing facility around here, at least as far as I can think of off the top of my head, while trying to drive one of these beasts, I'm buying my tickets day one. I am there before the gates even open. Okay? But instead, they stuck them down in Texas at a track that really isn't all that great. Especially for the cars themselves. I mean, let's be honest. But along those lines, no more Austin 400 next year, as they're looking to restructure the schedule and everything, possibly, and what will be 2015, going with 2 rounds or maybe more here in the United States, just to help with the cost of shipping the cars over here. Which again, that's really great, because the V8 Supercars should take off here in the United States. I mean, it is perfectly built for American consumption. you have cars that are, you know, essentially spec cars. Actually, you know, nowadays they basically are. But they got different bodywork, so they look kind of like, you know, a car that you can relate to, as well as the fact that they actually have doors. I'll let this guy go here. No need to even bother. Pump the brakes. Let them know.
Clear.
Just don't need to deal with it. Not really having a good day here. Maybe I can learn something off of this guy. And something just fell off my desk. So hopefully, though, they actually come to a good track, because again, it really, with good coverage, V8 Supercars would be huge here in the United States. I mean, no question about it. It's the racing that the American general consumer Joe Schmo guy wants. But it's also awesome. It's awesome. Seriously, it really is. On one hand, it's sad to see the fact that they're not going to be racing here in the U.S. next year, because that's, you know, going to set back the growth of V8 Supercars here in the United States, which, you know, I definitely think would be a great thing. And I think most people would agree. I mean, who doesn't like more racing anywhere around the world? I mean, let's be honest. But at the same time, you know, I don't mind having to not watch a race from Circuit of the Americas. Okay, and you just swing way across the track and stop. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, I tell you what, it seems like this race has gone on forever. I'm not sure if the guys in front of us have made their pit stop, although I'm like 90% sure they have. If it weren't for the couple of spins, we'd definitely be a little bit further up. That's pretty obvious. That said, that's not really a mind-blowing comment or anything like that. Definitely got to treat this car with respect and be very careful with it. It's one of those things where you're driving a quote-unquote race car, you know, it's purpose-built. It should be able to stop on a dime, turn on a dime, have tons of downforce, and just be like amazing. But at the same time, you have to remember, oh hey, genius, it's a V8 Supercar. Yeah, it's a race car, but it ain't that race car. just... Oh, man. I'm not sure if I think I might have a totally wrong setup loaded up or something. Or wrong for me, because it's like I have to use the throttle to turn, but if I do that, then... There's nothing but wheel spin. I definitely feel like changing those roll bars has definitely helped even after the pit stop. I probably should have done that from the start. Well, I'm not gonna lie, it is pretty cool to exit that corner entirely sideways. The car doesn't have any problems going sideways. At all. It'll go sideways for days. Looks like a guy in front of us made a pit stop. That's nice. Would like to get a top 10 out of this race. That is the goal. All that said, the next closest cars are 22 seconds up the road. So, if that's going to happen, we're going to probably need something to happen to them. But you never know, because this car's definitely not the easiest thing in the world to drive. Son of a...
You cut the cord. You'll have to slow down and give up the time gained.
iRacing penalty system. Gain 1/10 of a second, lose 6. Frickin' joke. And I don't say that just because I got totally screwed over there. I say that because, well, it is a frickin' joke. I'm not talking about safety rating. Don't care about the safety rating. I'm an A-class driver, and I have zero intentions of ever driving the FW31 in a race because F1 cars are poo. There, I said it. I don't like them. So, that's that. You're not going to see it here on this channel. Just not fun. Needs more counter steer. Well, you know, maybe a couple cars up there have made pit stops. Because I'm not really all that sure I'm going so slow that I've already been on a lap by the leaders. I mean, I know I'm not going fast, but, well, did have a couple of offs. And we are definitely not fast in this car. Definitely not fast. 5 laps to go. Okay. Okay, we can finish this race. One guy makes a pit stop or whatever, and get back in that top 10. Or you never know. I mean, we do got tons of cars there within about 5 seconds, so you never know. And if you want a tip to predict the future, always say something might happen, because then you'll always sort of be right. Hey, if it didn't happen, hey, you don't look like an idiot. If it does happen, you look like a freaking fortune teller. You know, it's just crazy, man. Nostradamus ring a bell? Just got to say something vague enough to make it sound like you know what you're talking about, but also at the same time vague enough that it can be very loosely interpreted. Unless you're saying Nostradamus knew we'd have nuclear war or something, and that's what he specifically was talking about. As it's the end of the world as we know it. Oh boy.
You've got 2 laps to go.
I just want to make it painfully clear that you guys you guys have subjected me to driving this car, okay? Not that I have a problem with it. I mean, I complied because I want to like this car, because I want to race a V8 Supercar. Heck, I've wanted to race a V8 Supercar since I was like 10. God, I miss Speed Vision. I still remember back in the day, and I guess the V8 Supercar formula was new, the Bob Jane T-Mart 1000. I'm like, what the heck is a Bob Jane T-Mart? I don't know what it is, but apparently I guess it's a convenience store, as I later learned on in life. At least if memory serves me correctly. Or something like that. But a T-Mart. You guys from down under have some weird terms for things, such as supercar. So I guess 4 doors and a wing in a V8 makes it a supercar. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Gonna need to go back to the drawing board on this one. And yeah, that was pretty stupid. Yeah. That was all me. Entirely. Like, entirely me. I was just falling asleep at the wheel. Well, I gotta say, this probably makes for an entertaining video for you guys out there, seeing how the car's going sideways as much as it's going forward. Probably just waiting for me to end up losing it. And yeah, on the last lap, suddenly I decided to try things differently, you know, because that's going to make a big difference for the next race. You know, just one of those things, man. Such as third gear through there. Why not? Something different. Because we can.
Still there. Clear.
I need to do a race in the frickin' Ford GT. I need a confidence boost. It is pretty funny though. In that car, I was well, I literally got 1 point away from flying over 4,000 iRating last season until I did an IndyCar race at Sonoma. I'm looking at you, Joshua Chin. Thanks. Where I, nah, just joking. But where I basically ended up getting wrecked out in turn 2, and since then it's been a downward spiral. Just, but yeah, I got to 3,999. All I wanted to do was get over 4,000. Thought I was going to do it in that IndyCar race because I really should have, because I'm not that bad in the IndyCar. Certainly nowhere near as bad as I am in the V8 Supercar. And yeah, that happened, which is a shame because, well, I could have finished second because the other guy in the race, Josh Chen, he's freaking mega fast. And yes, I'm calling you out in this video because you made me do that race. You specifically requested me, and now I'll never get 4,000 iRating apparently. So, yeah, that's that random little story for the end of the race there. So, hope you guys enjoyed watching me struggle and flop around like a dead fish inside a V8 Supercar. So, alright, bye.